Let me tell you how a town called Mosswood ended up on every front page in America. How one morning, a decorated black general got slammed to the ground outside a gas station. Her only weapon, the kind of silence that makes the world stop and stare. You ever have a moment where you realize, yeah, that happened, and you can't quite believe it's your life? That's the story I'm about to tell you. Naomi Ellsworth wasn't rolling into Mosswood to make history. She wore a faded hoodie and jeans, her hands steady on the wheel, hair pulled back tight. No security detail, no uniform, no one trailing behind. She just wanted to keep a promise, nothing more, nothing less. The town was still half asleep, the sky soft and blue, the gas station looking almost lonely on the edge of the highway. If you saw her, you'd think she was just passing through. Truth is, Naomi had already passed through more storms than most folks could imagine. She stepped out of her car with that practiced calm, the kind of movement you pick up after years of standing at attention. She walked in, grabbed a bottle of water, and nodded good morning to Paula, the woman behind the counter. Paula, mid-50s, white eyes like chipped flint, watched every step, the way some people do when the world's changed and they can't quite keep up. Paula had her suspicions. Naomi didn't know, didn't care. She just paid in cash, didn't make a scene, didn't notice the nervous way Paula's fingers hovered near the phone. You ever see something innocent turn sour, so fast you can't catch your breath? Naomi walked out, set her bottle in the cup holder, checked her map, still had time. That's when Paula dialed 911. "There's a woman out there," she whispered. "She doesn't belong here. No threat, no crime. Just a black woman minding her business in the wrong town on the wrong morning." And as Naomi sat, a man in a pickup truck across the street leaned forward, squinting. A little boy tugged at his mom's sleeve, asking who she was. No one answered. This was the kind of place where you don't have to do anything wrong to look like trouble. The silence thickened, felt like the quiet before a summer storm. Then came a patrol car. Siren, lights, two officers, Delaney and Cooper, stepping out, faces set hard. They didn't know Naomi from Adam. All they saw was the dispatch and the fear in Paula's voice. Naomi rolled down her window. Her voice didn't shake. "Good morning, officers." Didn't even finish her sentence before Delaney barked, "Step out of the vehicle now." She tried to identify herself, reaching for her credentials, slow, deliberate, but the officers didn't wait. Hands on guns, nerve shot. Before Naomi could say another word, they yanked her door open, dragged her from the car, forced her down. Concrete scraped her knees. She kept her voice calm. "I am not resisting." The whole station froze. Some folks looked away. But across the street, a teenager kept his phone steady, recording. The kind of moment you can't watch, can't look away from. Naomi's face was pressed to the hood, cuffs slapped tight around her wrists. She didn't yell, didn't plead, just stared straight ahead, breathing steady, letting the world think what it wanted. That silence, let me tell you, it's the kind that makes people uncomfortable, makes them ask themselves what the hell they just witnessed. They didn't know her, didn't know about Afghanistan, the stars on her shoulder, the speeches before Congress, the soldiers who'd have followed her anywhere. All they saw was what Paula had told them to see. The officers stuffed her in the back of the squad car and hauled her away. The teenager's video hit social media before she even reached the courthouse. By morning, every military base in the country had seen it. In a dorm room states away, a young cadet watched the footage, recognized the general who once shook his hand at graduation. He sent the video up the chain. Within hours, the Secretary of Defense himself was asking, "Where is she now?" Inside the courthouse, Naomi walked in cuffed, head high, no uniform, just that presence that fills a room whether you want it to or not. Judge Grayson, stiff in his robe, read the charges: disorderly conduct, resisting officers. The DA shuffled papers. The public defender leaned close, whispering for her to speak, to plead. Naomi just shook her head, slow and steady. The courtroom filled with silence, the kind that isn't just absence of noise, but the weight of everyone holding their breath, waiting for someone else to move first. Judge Grayson glanced at her, uncomfortable. He'd seen this kind of case before, but never with a woman like her. Then the doors creaked open. In marched Lieutenant Colonel Mosley, two legal officers beside him, eyes forward, uniforms crisp. The room shifted, you could feel it, like the air went electric. Mosley didn't need to say a word, but when he did, it was as sharp as a knife. That's General Ellsworth. Grayson snapped back, "This is my courtroom, Colonel." But it was clear, the old power in the room was gone. The DA tried to press the charges. Naomi finally spoke, voice low, clear. "I complied. You simply didn't see it." She paused. "You saw my skin, not my actions." The room went still, reporters scribbling, veterans in the gallery looking down, some with tears in their eyes. A twist no one expected. Someone unearthed footage from months earlier. Officer Cooper, the same one who cuffed Naomi, had been caught on camera roughing up a young black cadet during a traffic stop. The case was buried, the tape sealed until now. The cadet shared a story online. "I wasn't the first. She won't be the last." The internet exploded. Outside, protesters gathered, veterans, students, mothers with children. They didn't chant at first. They just stood, silent, holding candles in daylight. The video of Naomi went viral, her medals, her service, now clashing with images of her in cuffs. America saw itself and didn't like what it saw. Inside, the judge tried to move things along, but his hands shook on the gavel. Mosley stood, interrupted again. Perhaps the court should be delayed by facts. The judge tried to bark him down, but for the first time, no one really listened. Then, everything stopped. A court officer rushed in with a note for Grayson, red-faced, whispering in his ear. Grayson left the room, only to answer a secure line. The Secretary of Defense, clear as day, "You will dismiss the charges, you will apologize, and you will do it now." There was no room for argument. The line went dead. When Grayson came back, he looked like a man who'd just seen a ghost. His voice barely carried. "Charges dismissed. This court apologizes to General Ellsworth." You could hear the exhale and the room's shoulders dropped. People sat back like they'd been holding up the ceiling. Mosley stood, strode to Naomi, unlocked the cuffs. She stood head high. No triumph, no anger, just quiet dignity. People made space for her, not out of fear, but out of recognition. No one applauded. They just watched, and for a second, it felt like everyone in that room was remembering every story, every bruise the country pretends not to see. Naomi spoke, her voice barely above a whisper, but strong enough to reach every heart in the room. "I am not here to clear my name. It was never stained. I'm tired of seeing dignity mistaken for silence, tired of watching those who serve this country prove again and again their humanity matters. I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for those who never got to stand in a courtroom, who were never recorded, who had no rank to shield them." She let that settle, let it linger like a slow tide. This country isn't broken, but it's bruised, and every bruise tells a story. She finished quietly. No drama, no demands, just truth. Outside, the protest turned to something else, not pleading, but a rising call for change. Inside, Grayson sat, smaller somehow, weighed down by what he'd seen. Naomi didn't gloat. She didn't need to. She had already won the only way that matters. With dignity, with truth, and with the silent support of thousands she'd never met. Now I gotta ask, what would you have done in her place? Would you have stayed silent? Or would you have let the whole world hear your side? Drop your thoughts below. Is justice about the law, or about something deeper, about dignity, about the fight for respect, about the times when standing your ground means refusing to be broken, even when the world expects you to kneel? If this story resonated with you, share it. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's keep these conversations alive, because the stories we carry together are the ones that shape who we become.